Okay, good morning. This is a video that's going to be on an Attiny, and a quick search in Google or ChatGPT basically identifies that it's just a small, low-powered microcontroller. It's made by Atmel, now part of Microchip. And if you just want to pause the video at any time, you can read any of these things. Basically, it's a small footprint, lower power consumption. It has all the sort of necessary bits that you need. It's got different pin numbers. You can have basically, I think the smallest one is like a 4 pin, and it goes up to, I don't know, 16 or something like that. So this was just a very quick search. Anyways, we won't get too much into that because you can look that up on your own. But the essence, if you hover over the pins, is that this one is PB5, which we'll just call it 5. This is 3. This is 4, so they're not in order. This is ground. This is power. This is pin 2, pin 1, and I'm using pin 0. So if I show you the code, you can sort of see that we have nothing in the start menu. But we have set up pin 0 to be on as high for half a second, which is 500 milliseconds, and pin low is off. It's off for just a quarter of a second, or 250 milliseconds. So we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so it's mainly on, and then it's off for a very brief time. Okay, so you can do that setup first. So now, where can we go from there? Well, you can obviously try to max out what you're doing. Oh, by the way, I did switch the terminal. So if you bring in an LED, see if I can find an LED, to make your wiring. So this was how it comes in originally, with the cathode on the left and the anode, and I just flipped it over. So that's why the little bend is there. So if you're trying to wire it up exactly how I am, that's one of the things that you can do just to simplify the diagram. So let's go through and pick out essentially what we need. I'm going to use a breadboard, and I'll just use the little one, and I'll show you where I got the Attiny from. So let's put it in the middle, and let's bring some power in. Now, typically things are 5 volts. So the best way to get 5 volts in a battery form is to use 3 cells. So you can click on the battery and you can change the number of cells. It doesn't matter if it's AA or AAA. The difference for that is just how long it's going to last, and for our simulations it doesn't matter. Okay, so we hover over the pin and we find the ground. So we're going to just connect that. We're going to change it to number 1 on the keyboard. Now often what we do is we tie the ground rails together, and we tie the positive rails together as well, and that's so that we can just access them from either side. And that's very common. Sometimes you do it, sometimes the grounds are tied together and there will be a different power level at each one, but this is essentially how you can minimize. So if we go here, so now we essentially have it working, and we're going to first of all duplicate this one. I might have to delete one of these just depending on how the code works. We'll see. I'm going to bring in an LED, and this is the anode. I'm going to flip it again, so I don't know if there's a letter to do that. And let's just take this wire and run it to ground. Ooh, we forgot the resistor. Okay, so let's grab a resistor. And you can hit R on the keyboard to rotate it. And we tend to want to use ohms instead of kilo ohms, and 200 is fairly normal. I went 150 over here. And now we can go to ground. I can move this out of the way. 1 on the keyboard, and then I can move this back. And let's see what happens when we go to code. So it gives you an option between the two of them. So I'm going to go with the second one and see if it works. have it working. So it seems to be working on both of them, so we'll figure that out later. Okay, so what your task is to max out the number of LEDs that you can have. I guess we could go multiple on each pin, but we're not going to do that. So I want you to see if you can figure out a way to get, I guess it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 LEDs on yours, and submit that as a video of them all working. You can choose to use a breadboard, or you can choose to do the wiring like this. Hopefully that makes sense. You can choose to use the block coding, or you can choose to use the text as well. Remember, you can change your font by doing that. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that point, and we'll see what you come up with. Okay, good luck, have fun.